Hello. Welcome to our next standard, that is your SS 700. So we have now approached the 700 series. So what does 700 talks about? 700 talks about forming an opinion and reporting on your financial statements. So basically, whenever an auditor provides a opinion, there will be basically two types of reports. Either there is unmodified report. Oh, let's change our pen color to red and thick. Yeah. So there will be an unmodified report or there will be a modified report. So unmodified report is when the auditor feels that there are your financial statements have been prepared as per the applicable financial reporting framework. All disclosures, amounts, classification, everything as per the financial reporting framework. There are no issues. So it is a report issued when auditor concludes that your financial statements are prepared in all material aspects in accordance with your applicable financial reporting framework. And when the auditor gives a modified report, in such a case, matters that affect audit opinion. So if the matter affects your audit opinion, there are basically three types of opinions. One is your qualified, second is your adverse, and third is disclaimer of opinion. And for matters that do not affect audit opinion, but the auditor feels that this information I should give to my users of audit report because it will provide them with more information and help them make a decision. In such a case, he will include your emphasis of matter paragraph along with your other matter paragraph. In this, he will provide more information. Okay. Forming an opinion on the financial statements. So auditor shall form an opinion on whether your financial statements are prepared as per your applicable financial reporting framework or not. To form an opinion, auditor needs to conclude whether he has obtained reasonable assurance that the financial statements as a whole are free from material missed statements, whether due to error or fraud. Error is your by mistake and fraud is intentional. Okay. So he will have to take into account first is auditor's conclusion as per SA 330, whether sufficient and appropriate audit evidence has been obtained. I am not going into depth because we have already covered these standards. Second is your auditor's conclusion as per SA 450, that is whether uncorrected misstatements are material either individually or in aggregate. That is, you have already communicated to the management, but the management is not of the opinion that these needs to be corrected. So you will have to check whether they are material individually or aggregate. Third is evaluations mentioned below, that is whether the financial statements are prepared in all material aspects in accordance with your applicable financial reporting framework. And second is whether in view of requirements of applicable financial reporting framework, you will have to check these 4 points. First is adequately disclose significant accounting policies selected and applied. You will have to disclose what accounting policies you have selected while preparing these financial statements. Second is accounting policies selected and applied should be consistent with your financial reporting framework. Third is your accounting estimates are reasonable. Your estimates should be reasonable. And fourth is information presented in financial statement is relevant, reliable, comparable, and understandable. These four things should be there. Okay. And next is your auditor's responsibility for audit of financial statement. So what is your auditor's responsibility for audit of financial statement? First, he will state that the objective of the audit is to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatement. Remember, it will never be absolute assurance, it will always be reasonable assurance because of the inherent risk of audit. So reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatement, and issue the auditor's report that includes an audit opinion. He also first he will give his objective and he will have to issue an audit report. Second is explanation with respect to reasonable assurance and application of the concept of materiality that we studied in essay 320. Third is statement that the auditor exercises professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the auditor. This is what are we studying? We are studying the auditor's responsibility, that he has to exercise professional judgment and professional skepticism throughout the audit. So your first point talks about reasonable assurance free from misstatement. Your second point talks about materiality, and your third point talks about professional judgment and professional skepticism. Okay. Now what does your fourth point say? Fourth point says state auditor's responsibilities with respect to Identify and assess risk of material misstatement, obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Third is understanding of your internal controls. And fourth is with regards to evaluation of appropriateness of accounting policies and reasonableness of accounting estimates. Clear? So by far you have got 3 points. First is financial statements free from misstatements as per applicable as per financial reporting framework, and last is your appropriateness of accounting estimates and reasonableness of policies. Great. Then state auditors responsibilities with respect to what matters have been communicated with TCWG. Second is providing statement to TCWG on compliance of ethical requirements, that is what ethical requirements have been complied to. And third is determining key audit matters out of matters communicated to TCWG. So all the matters that you have communicated, you will have to determine which of them are key audit matters. Okay, this is the only standard that goes on for 2 pages, so it is an important standard. Okay, so auditors report for audits conducted as per SA and ISA. So ISA is your international standards of audit and SA is your standards on auditing. So auditor may be required to conduct an audit in accordance with the international standards of audit in addition to the SAs issued by ICI. In such a case, auditor's report may refer to SAs in addition to ISA's auditing, but the auditor shall do so only if there is no conflict between the requirement of your ISA and SA. Both of these, your international standards of audit and your standards of audit issued by ISA, both of these should not conflict. That will lead the auditor to form a different opinion or not include a emphasis of matter paragraph or other matter para. That is basically it should not make the auditor issue a modified report. Then your second is the auditor's report include at a minimum each of elements set out in auditor's report prescribed by laws and regulation discussed above when auditor uses layout or wordings specified as per SA. Okay, so our next point is supplementary information presented with financial statement, that is any additional information that we are giving with financial statements. So if supplementary information is presented with audited financial statements but it is not required by your financial reporting framework, then the auditor shall evaluate whether the supplementary information is differentiated from the audited financial statements or not. If not, you will ask the management to change presentation of unaudited supplementary information. That is, your supplementary information should not seem part as of your financial statements. If the management refuses, you will have to explain in your auditor's report that the supplementary information that the management is providing, which is not required as per your financial reporting framework, that part is unaudited. That is my opinion. It's not based on the supplementary information. Okay. Now next is your elements of your unmodified audit report. Unmodified audit report is when there are no issue, that is your financial statements are as per your financial reporting framework. Okay, so first of course you will include title, that the independent auditor's report distinguish, so that you are able to distinguish this report from issued by other auditors. Next is your addressee, that is for whom it is prepared. It is addressed to those for whom it is prepared. Third is your opinion selection, as to what opinion you have given. So since this is an unmodified audit report, what will you provide? In our opinion, financial statements fairly in all material respect in accordance with applicable financial reporting framework, whichever financial reporting framework is applicable. So they give a true and fair view, not very detailed, nothing much to explain. And this is with regards to, so one is with regards to fair presentation framework and second is with regards to compliance framework. Okay. Third is your basis of opinion, that is you will have to say that the audit was conducted as per SAs. You will refer to section of auditor's report that describe what the auditor's responsibilities are and compliance with ethical requirements including independence. Now in your report there is a separate heading for going concern, that is where applicable auditor shall report in accordance with SA 570 as we studied. Next is your key audit matter, that is your KAM. So your key audit matters. In case of listed entity, auditor shall communicate your key audit matters in accordance with SA 701. Next is your management responsibilities for financial statements. So you will have to prepare financial statements as per financial reporting framework. These are all your management responsibilities. That the design, implementation and maintenance of internal control is their responsibility. They will have to maintain adequate controls for safeguarding of assets and prevention and detection of fraud. They will have to assess the appropriateness of going concern, and they will also oversee financial reporting process. You will have to state all of this in the audit report ki boss, all of these are your management responsibility. Okay. Next is your auditor's responsibility for audit of financial statements. This we have already studied above their auditor's responsibilities. Then your other reporting responsibilities. So anything with relation to CARO or section 143 of the Companies Act, 143(11) of the Companies Act, all of these you will specify in this paragraph. In the end, it is your signature, that is a personal name, name of firm along with membership number and firm registration number. Place, that is where the city where the audit report is signed, and last is your date, that is it should not be earlier than the date on which audit evidence are collected, because of course your report is based on audit evidence. So the last audit evidence which you have received, your report will definitely have to be after that audit evidence only. And with this we are done with SA 700, and I'll see you in the next video.